Number 10. The Departed. X marks the spot. Rewatch the movie. Similar to The Godfather, almost all of the deaths in this film are foreshadowed by a pretty noticeable X somewhere on screen, be it on the walls as tape, a floor pattern, or window panes. It kinda spoils the surprise, but oh well. Number 9. Forrest Gump. This beloved movie certainly has a place in the hearts of most people who have seen it. Of course it's packed with symbolism, which is one reason why people love it so much. Running is a huge motive in the movie. Forrest always runs to Jenny, runs from people, runs to save Lieutenant Dan, and runs to get over Jenny. Jenny similarly runs away from Forrest and from her father. Much of this can be seen as running away from problems. Only at the end of the movie, when both of them stop running from their problems and directly face them, do they live a truly happy, even if it was brief, life. In another heartfelt way, the movie settles Jenny's conflicts by using symbolism as well. When Jenny was a child, she wished she could become a bird so she could fly away from her abusive dad. When she is buried, birds fly away from the tree, indicating she's finally at peace. Number 8. Inception. Leave it to Inception to go inside of itself. It's a movie being made inside of a movie. Let me explain. Inception is actually a movie about how movies are made. Think about it. Leonardo DiCaprio is the boss and has a vision for what he needs the dream to be like in order to succeed. He acts as the director, going around assembling his cast and crew to make his dream alive. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the know-it-all, acting as producer that helps everyone get their job done with efficiency. Tom Hardy's character changes his face and practices his lines in front of a mirror. He's the main actor. Ken Watanabe immediately seems like an executive. He's pretty business-oriented and pays for their heist, expecting to make maximum profit in return, while Dilly Brow as Yusuf acts as a special effects / stunt coordinator that crashes the van into the water and creates the amazing anti-gravity fight scene. Finally, he hires Ellen Page to be the screenwriter, build the story and set as an architect. She's even led location scouting before they actually begin filming, aka starting the heist. It's a dream inside a dream all over again. So many layers, it's like Shrek talking to Donkey about onions. Number 7. Avatar. Avatar is pretty heavy-handed with its anti-capitalist and environmental protection sentiments. Sometimes it's not as obvious, but hilarious when you see it. Take for example the scene where the colonel is briefing some of the troops. There is a very clear depiction of the United States flag in the background. Touché, James Cameron, nothing overt about that. Number 6. Aliens. This one I personally noticed myself when I first laid eyes upon the masterpiece that was Aliens. Following Ripley's revival, the entire movie turns into a Vietnam War allegory, a company completely unconcerned with its own sending a bunch of trigger-happy soldiers to kill foreign enemies. In fact, the soldiers are even dressed and wear war paint like American soldiers back in the 60s and 70s. The dropship is based off an army helicopter, and the spray designs are similar to previous aircraft. The correlation is even more convincing when you take into account how the soldiers are extremely equipped and gung-ho to fight the enemy but fail to do so because the xenomorphs fight using stealthy guerrilla tactics in ducts and tunnels. James Cameron is all about that symbolism. Number 5. Up. Balloons are quite important and plentiful in the movie. Well, obviously. It's even on the poster. Balloons mean a lot in the movie. In the opening heart-wrenching montage, the delighted Carl gives balloons to Ellie as a gift, and it even begins to lift the cart off the ground. He prevents that, of course, and never lets it take off. Even when Ellie dies, he brings the balloons with him and leaves them with her. People argue that the balloons are Carl's dreams and aspirations. They try to lift off, but he can never achieve them because he doesn't let them escape. Sorry to make a sad scene even sadder. Of course, we all know his dreams are rekindled by some fat boy scout, and the balloons allow him to finally ascend to his heaven. So, I mean, it's not all bad, right? Number 4. Spirited Away. Is Spirited Away actually about child prostitution? Think about it. It takes place in a bathhouse where disgusting clients come demanding things from Chihiro. Some say that these clients are representative of disgusting clients at brothels and that the main character was forced into working as a prostitute in order to save her family. Maybe it's a reach, but that's pretty rough stuff. Number 3. Shawshank Redemption. First of all, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the ending and how the plot unfolds. To understand this one, you have to know a little bit about the books. Andy, the main character, talks to Red about how grey and miserable Shawshank prison is. All they see is cement, but Andy takes rocks and works hard on them to turn them into something beautiful. This motive translated into the movie, where rocks act as symbols of discovering secrets and freedom. Things that seem basic, dull, and useless can be often interpreted or transformed into something incredible. The warden throws a rock angrily at the ball, which tears a hole in the poster, revealing the escape tunnel. Andy then uses his rock to smash his way out, ending with Red uncovering the message left for him behind the rock wall. I think this is a new definition for being between a rock and a hard place. Number 2. Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. A costume can often influence a movie a ton. But did you ever notice how in Return of the Jedi, Luke begins to dress very dark, mostly in his black suit? This symbolizes his potential transition to the dark side. He blends in very well with Vader and Emperor Palpatine, and you can correlate them in your brain without even really realizing it. After the encounter with Palpatine, however, his shirt is torn, revealing white underneath and how Luke's true nature was Jedi all along. Number 1. Toy Story 3. To end it off, let's finish the wild ride with a pretty far-fetched story. Some believe that Toy Story 3 is actually a way of representing the Holocaust. According to theorists, the toys are abandoned and seek refuge in the attic like Anne Frank and many other Jews did to hide from the Nazis. Somehow they end up in Sunnyside, which is seen to them as a concentration camp, leading to a giant incinerator at the fateful end. Let's go with that. Obviously this, like the rest of these, are all up to your interpretation. Let me know if you noticed any of these the first time, or if they're just plain insane.